You're gonna hear it sizzle. Come over and take a look at that, okay, so you can see what it looks like. Now, while that garlic is browning up, yeah, you saw how much I used, so I can't give you a precise measurement. I just sprinkled maybe, a tablespoon of garlic. It's kind of light. We can put a little bit more, okay? Make it like 2 tablespoons of garlic. That gives it a lot of flavor. This is going to be a sofrito, but it's a foundation. It means of something that's fried. And it's the foundation for 2 of the sauces. It's not the foundation for the pomodoro because that's just naturally. But what it is there, it's almost brown now, okay? So what we want to do is we don't want it to get too brown because browning garlic makes things bitter. So we're going to turn that down just a tad and we're going to get the next item, which is the onions, into the pan. Now we can put basically, I can use all these onions here because we're going to make a lot of sauce. It's going to be really good. And I'm going to show you a technique here. So we're just going to add all these minced onions to here. And we're going to add also, I don't mean to be wasteful, but when I'm in a hurry to make this video, because I know people got other things to do, I try to be quick, but I may leave some onions on there. The next thing you can put in your salad, or your carrots, okay? And you just pop those already in here. Those are all minced up, already ready. Give it a little stir. This little spoon tray is to keep your stove from getting dirty with your spoon. And then the last thing is the celery. And it's been minced also. We're just going to throw all this stuff in here and let it brown for a while. Cook at high temperature without burning. Okay, so what we want to do is keep stirring it and keep that temperature pretty high until these... Come on over here and take a look so you can seize it with your own eyes what it's going to look like. So see, we're going to start and we're going to brown this a little bit. Okay, so just let that cook. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to have a little shot. Now I heard there's people doing drunken videos and I want to tell you something. If you ever get drunk in a kitchen, you're going to be so sorry. Because cooking is not a joke. It is not something that you should get, like if you see I put very little in here. It's really dangerous to cook as it is, so please don't get drunk while you cook. It's okay to have a drink, but be temperate, be moderate, keep it everything under control, make sure your kitchen is safe. You know, you have lights, you have your fans on. It's very important to have a safe kitchen. Actually, I wanted to do this, make it faster for you, but that's okay. We'll use, you know, I'll use fast motion. Okay? Now this is actually, should really cook a while. I really gotta do this. This is nothing that can be rushed. Okay, so now we're making a sofrito, and I really want to rush this process, so instead of letting this get really brown, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a corner. And I'm going to add my wine right away, because this is a very important ingredient, okay? I use this stuff mostly for cooking. Some people drink it, but this is a very good brand of wine. It's, you know, you can see what it is. And I don't need to be advertising that, but it's not a bad wine. And I'm going to take a whole cup of this wine that some people would rather drink than pour into some sofrito. But before we do that, before we add the wine, what we're going to do is we're going to add the wine now. I'm not going to wait. So now I'm going to add this cup of wine to our sofrito, okay? Now here, again, this has to, this wine is very nice, but you're not going to believe it. We have to let all this wine evaporate. So it has to reduce. It's called what's called reduction. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cover this to facilitate the boiling of this wine. And we're going to turn down the stove so the pomodoro we'll cook, instead of at 500, we'll cook at 400. So now we got the basis for 3 sauces here. When we're done with the sofrito, we're going to take half of it, and half of it's going to be for, here's another thing we're going to definitely do for the sofrito that I haven't done yet, okay? One of it is we're going to add some of this thyme. It's a very important commodity here. And I'm just going to give it a real quick herbs, or what really, there are people that, I'll be quite honest with you, there are many hundreds of thousands of people in the world that cook stuff without having any fancy herbs. And my grandmother's original Italian recipe for this has no herbs in it whatsoever. Has no wine, has no herbs, has nothing. Here I am doing all this fancy stuff. But it's really all, each thing that you do, now we're going to throw this thyme in here, now there's a little thyme, and then we have this wonderful oregano. You can just take as much as you like. We're making a thick sauce, so that's like 2-3 tablespoons of thyme, 2-3 tablespoons of oregano. You really can't hurt yourself because this stuff is fresh. It's not all concentrated and dried out, so just a couple tablespoons of that, a couple tablespoons of thyme, and that's it, okay? There's the oregano and thyme. Now we stir this. Now it's starting to boil. So let's just let that continue to boil for a minute, okay? That's what it looks at this point. It's starting to evaporate that alcohol. I'm going to turn the oven down. I've already done that. Okay, now when this sofrito is done, which should be a few more minutes, what we're going to do is break it down into 2 groups. Okay? Now that's going to keep on reducing, but when we're done with that, we're going to break it down into 2 groups. Now in the first